What is going on, everybody? My name is Grizgoat. Welcome back to the Grizoo. Today we are working on a mountain gorilla enclosure. I am back from vacation. I had a wonderful time in Hawaii, relaxing by the beach, taking it easy, but now we're back building zoos. Please like and subscribe to support the channel. I missed all of you while I was on break. Today we are filling out our last portion of the African zoo part. We might be able to squeeze one more exhibit on the end, which might be a shorter episode, but yeah, let's just jump right into it. So here I'm doing a trick to kind of widen the path a little bit, just because we're going to have a viewing area for the gorillas right here, so there's going to be a lot of stagnant traffic, I guess, if you want to call it that. So we're just placing a path in the corner and then deleting it, and it makes a bigger, wider path. We're going to set all of our boundaries up, make sure we have enough area for them. I want to have at least 3 and a couple juveniles in there, so we're going to have to make it fairly wide. And of course we have to cater to our train. We want as many animal encounters as possible while people are riding on the train. That way it makes it more of an attractive thing for people and our guests to go on. So we're going to build this mountain. It's going to have our little cave for them to sleep in. It's going to have a cage on top for them to kind of hang out, and hopefully the train will spot them while they're hanging out up there. And then of course we'll have the lower end for the ground visitors. So I'm leaving this section at the end and I made a little rock wall. We'll have a waterfall on that side, and then hopefully we'll have kind of a smaller African animal right there. Let me know in the comments what you want to see there, and I'll see if I can make it work. Hopefully we can, because I think that would be really nice. Now we're putting a pathway behind the rock wall, so it'll be kind of like you walk into the waterfall and you can see the other side of the cave where they're sleeping. And it'll just kind of give the guests like full access to seeing the gorillas wherever they're at in the enclosure. Of course, if they're up on top of the mountain, the ground guests might not be able to see them that well, but from playing the game afterwards, they do go up there quite a bit, but they kind of are spread out throughout the enclosure the whole time, so it works out. So now we're just doing a lot of sculpting of the terrain, making sure that this mountain looks fairly mountainous and like something you would see in a gorilla habitat or in nature, actually. So one thing I've realized I haven't done a lot of is kind of going down. So we're gonna have them go down into that little pit a little bit, and that'll kind of be their enrichment area to kind of bring them to that side of the exhibit. And of course, we'll probably put an enrichment item up on top of the mountain just to hopefully bring them up there too. So one of the struggles with building this kind of mountain area is figuring out the fence for it. The gorillas need like a 16.5-foot fence, which is really tall, and it kind of makes it almost taller than the rest of the buildings in our park right now. And so this metal mesh fence is climbable. So of course you have to put the anti-climbing top at the top, and that just looked crazy to me. So the only way to make it not stand out too much is to use kind of like a mesh or a metal, or like chain link or something. So we'll do a little bit more of a creative solution later on. But now we're just gonna decorate the cave a little bit. I really like this rhubarb. It looks really nice, and like something you would see in kind of like the lowland gorilla area. And also the Scavola bush, I think it's called. Looks really nice. Kind of like to fill up the mountain. Now here we're doing a trick to create some more unique foliage. Just kind of hiding a tree down below the ground and just letting the top show through. I think it really works to fill up kind of the background. And I like the way that I think it's a tamarind tree looks when you kind of hide it down below. And now we're just going to take a break to look at the baby penguins. They are just so cute. I could hear them while I was playing the game. I kept hearing them squawk, so I went over to check on them. And now we're going to order our gorillas. Our gorillas are here. And I freaked out because I thought he had two faces, but really there's just two gorillas stacked on top of each other. Now we're just going to work on the wear and tear of the exhibit, so making sure that we have a dirt pathway kind of where they're going to be walking up the mountain a lot. Sandy kind of spread around at the entrance just to show that people are walking in and out of the exhibit. Same with the entrance to their cave, kind of wear that down a little bit because they're going to be walking in and out of there constantly. Set some enrichment down by the tree, and then this enrichment thing right outside the bush, kind of hiding it in the bush just so it doesn't take up too much room. And of course we're going to put our glass panel in there for the viewing area under the cave. Now we're going to make a climbing structure for them. I didn't realize that they can't use the vines and stuff. When I checked the climbing area for them, it looks like they really only climb poles and stuff. But I feel like most gorilla enclosures that you see in real life are going to have like ropes and vines and stuff. So I think it makes the structure look more like you would actually see. But just know, if you're going to build your own, they don't really utilize the vines, which is kind of interesting. We're just kind of creating a pretty simple climbing structure, nothing too crazy. So now we'll find that this path was giving me a lot of trouble trying to figure out the perfect kind of slope for it to be where they can still walk up was pretty difficult, but eventually we do get there. And of course, I had to make sure that they could get up there, because that's the whole point of there being a mountain, is to get them up to the train. So I did find a solution, which you can make a climbing structure up there, and that kind of unlocks it for the gorillas. But later on in the video, we do actually get that connected so they can walk up and down that, which is good. Here you can see I did get it attached, connected, so that the gorillas can walk up and down, and then I unpaused for a second and our gorilla escaped. So these guys love to escape. And now we're gonna work on a better cage for the top portion of the exhibit. So we're gonna use this metal mesh. I don't love the way that it looks in this game. From straight on, it looks really nice, but there are angles and stuff that you can go to look at it from, and it is completely invisible, which is kind of annoying to me, but I think it kind of makes it looks nice in the end, but yeah, I really don't like how it just gets invisible from certain angles. So we're almost kind of creating an aviary at the top of this, which kind of looks nice, I think. Yeah, it'll do a good job of keeping our gorillas inside the enclosure. And using the mesh kind of keeps it a lot lighter looking, so it doesn't really compete with the skyline of our other buildings in the zoo. Now putting that in kind of ruined our path, so I was just kind of making that a little nicer looking, and I kind of wanted a few elements of the man-made aspect in it, so we did leave the concrete there. It is a floor piece, so the gorillas can actually walk through it, I believe. So I decided to cover it with earth, but just have like a little bits and pieces of it peeking out here and there, just to kind of show that it's an artificial mountain, I guess. And now we're just setting up our null barriers. Of course, doing all that kind of took away our little pathway, so we have to go back and work with that. Now we're going to be putting in the final wall that we're going to use. So we're going to use the metal mesh on the backside with the climb-proof barrier at the top. I think for the background of it, I think it works a lot better. I'm not going to use that on the front side of the enclosure, of course. We're going to use glass and rock facade like we have been throughout the other African exhibits. we're just going to work to make more solid pieces of glass. I don't like seeing the bars that kind of segment them all that much, so I usually go through and delete the wall sections and then try to make it match up with a longer piece. So now we're just going to be laying out our rock work at the bottom and duplicating that to the top. And then hiding those segmented glass pieces with some rocks. Now we're just going to be putting some more chunky rocks around the top just to kind of break up that skinny rock look. Now this was actually something I didn't realize I could do. You can align to surface and put the rock just touching the concrete wall, and it goes a lot faster than the way I've been doing it, which I'm kind of surprised I didn't figure that out earlier. And I really like this area right by the hill entrance. I like the way that you can kind of just watch them kind of migrate up the hill, and it's like really close to the glass. I like that. It looks nice. We're just working to make our mountain a little more rocky, make the cave entrance a little more rocky. It might change once we do the exhibit on the other side. We might make some adjustments to the cave, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. So now we're going to move our null barrier into the rock wall. We're going to check and make sure there's no escape points for our gorillas. And it looks like the cage that we put up top works. They aren't able to escape, which is always a good thing. So we're gonna add a couple more trees, add our glass wall by the climbing structure so that they can see them hanging around there. Now we're going to add some rock work to just kind of make it look a little more natural and settled into the environment. Now I am realizing that I forgot the educational signs, but that's okay. We'll add those later. Now we're gonna just decorate our rock wall with these ferns. Ferns and roots basically is what we're gonna do, just to kind of make it look more jungly. And then some of this scavola moss. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's not moss, it's scavola plant. In any documentary you see about gorillas, they're always surrounded by just a ton of foliage, a lot of greenery. So just trying to replicate that on the outside to kind of immerse the guests into it. And then we're going to do that along the chain link in the back as well. And there you have it. This is the final exhibit. There's a couple poops right there. We're gonna take a look up the thing, and here comes a gorilla right now. And there is our big alpha male right there, standing on top of the mountain, utilizing our cave, taking a good look at his butt. So I'm hoping to get one more gorilla for this enclosure. I think it looks real nice and jungly. Fits in really well with our African exhibit. Outside looks really nice. And the train will be able to see them probably from the climbing structure over to the mountain, I think. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Comment what we should do on the end of this exhibit. And I will see you next time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.